Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is October the 22nd, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Today was busy, of course, but it went well. It went overall pretty good. The vibes were on. They were nice. We'll say, on Snifflegate, throat is still scratchy, still coughing, but like overall, I woke up feeling good. I feel like I moved through most of my day feeling good up until like when I got to the gym, and then it was a thing. But speaking of the gym, I did have a little funny, quirky moment. I was on the Stairmaster, which I gotta say, anyone who told me to hit the Stairmaster, you were right. Okay, it's working. It's doing its thing. It's hard, but I in my little climb, my stairmaster situation, and I'm trying to drink some water because I'm parched. My throat's getting fucking cut up. It seems, and I go to put the like cap on my water or take it off. I can't quite remember, and it falls into the chasm of the machine, and I'm like, oh no, oh no. And I'm thinking I just broke a machine. And I also noticed that like on the row, like there's already one that was broken. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't really give that much of a shit, allegedly, whatever. Maybe I did this, maybe I didn't. Maybe this is just a thing I dreamed up in a dream and I'm just telling you. But no, essentially it falls in there. I was worried. I go to clean it and I go, fuck it, let's just run it again and just see if it works. And it said like an error thing, and then like worked, and I was like, okay, thank God it's working. It probably just fell through and is on the floor and I just can't reach it. Luckily, this is just literally a $3 water bottle that I got, like, just because. Have you ever like this kind of takes me back to the Einstein Bagel Bros. They didn't give me the water. I mentioned this, right? They like, we only have bottles of water. So I had to buy a fucking $3.69 smart water. At this point, smart water is like $1, $2 at gas stations. So I was like, oh, y'all really clipping me now. So that's why y'all got a little bit of a harsher review. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this water bottle. And so yeah, it reached the end of its life, slayed by the Stairmaster. So yeah, I felt like it was a fun little story to mention. Also, this is random, just side news before we get into news. Apparently, they had found a random, like, what is it? Bram Stoker short story about a ghost. I figured that was fitting for the Halloween. I know y'all have been hearing me do my bad Dracula for the month, as is tradition at this point. But yeah, I'm a Bram Stoker enjoyer to a bit. I at least love the OG Dracula. That shit was dope, and it really was like one of the first books that I wanted to read on my own as like an adult, like kind of getting back into reading. And I was like, yeah, I really need to, like, this is one of the books on my list. And I proceeded to like knock off more books after that. So that kind of holds a little special place in my heart. So it's cool that like they found a work of his, a little bit of a ghostly short story. I think it was made like before he had made Dracula. It was kind of like maybe like almost something that kind of he was building his technique, his style, along the way. So I was like, okay, that's a little cool. And that just kind of boop hit me in the brain while I was just yapping. Anyway, let's see here. Food corner. Let's just jump to that. What did I eat? I had a Mexican beef and rice bowl that I made. Pretty classic staple. I don't think I did anything weird with it. No, pretty normal, pretty OG. We went all out. We finished out all the white corn tortillas that I had, so that was nice. That was good. Let's see here. Anything else to really report? Anything else to really blog about? No, I kind of already went extra already talking about Bram Stoker for whatever reason. I mean, it's news related. I like giving you news where I can, where it just boop pops into my brain. I know I should give a source, cite my sources, but sometimes I just want to riff, you know what I mean? And once again, like, you have a fucking Google device on your phone that's gonna AI blah blah slap you and tell you whatever the fuck I said was right or wrong, right? So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Anyway, on that note, let's go ahead and take our startup and we'll get into some news. How's that sound? Hopefully good. Ooh, okay. All right. In the mood, in the spirit, in the spooky spirit. I don't know. This isn't spooky related news, but anyway. Actually, though, we are gonna get into some ghouls, but not right now. From let's see, where is this from? Let me run it back. Oh, it's CNN. Yeah. Excuse me. Mental health workers strike against Kaiser Permanente in Southern California. So, we love to see it. We love covering a good strike. We love covering fucking union workers trying to fight for what's fucking theirs. What's fucking their due. So, fuck yeah, let's go. More than 2,000 unionized mental health workers in Southern California went on strike against Kaiser Permanente on Monday after the two sides failed to reach a new labor agreement. The National Union of Healthcare Workers, NUHW, which represents 19,000 healthcare workers in California and Hawaii, including 4,700 mental health workers, picketed outside Kaiser facilities in Los Angeles, San Diego, Anaheim, Fontana, seeking an increase in salaries, restoration of pensions, and increased staffing. Man, I'm hearing more and more of this from companies, and I think that's fucking draconian. Not to, I guess, to continue the fucking theme of fucking Dracula, whatever, evil. Like, what do you mean so I can't imagine that meaning where you go, hey guys, times are tough, things are going to get lean, we can't give you your pension. The thing that you're going to need to use to survive when you get too old to work at this place that you've given your all to. That it is insane, crazy work that this happens in so many fucking companies, and you're forced to, whether you're in a union or not, to swallow that kind of shit. And then when you see the company doing better, getting out of these fucking problems, whatever, the pandemic, whatever fucking catastrophe, crisis, and then they go, yeah, we can't give you that back. And not to mention, we can't pay you a fucking wage that's even close to really living. Sorry. We're gonna drag our nuts until you leave, until you make this impossible for us to function. It shouldn't be like this, y'all. But this is time and time an historical fucking issue for us. Like, for people who work, like, it's insane. So this is, once again, when I have the thought to mention it, I really feel like it's important. Unions really lead the charge in this shit. If it's not for fucking them putting their shit on the line, no one fucking actually gets money. The fucking boats don't fucking rise in this capitalist bullshit we call a society, okay? So I really root for these people. I really push for these people because they're really fucking the tip of the spear for us. You know what I mean? God damn. So, yeah, I'm always on their fucking side, dude. And fuck anyone who's not, bro. Anyway, let me continue. When announcing the impending strike last week, the union cited its 10-week strike in Northern California in 2022, which resulted in higher wages, better working conditions to improve patient care, and prevented rapid staff turnover. Union members on strike in Southern California said their demands are in line with what Kaiser has provided to the majority of its workforce. Unless we strike, our coworkers are going to keep leaving, and our patients are going to keep struggling in an underfunded, understaffed system that doesn't meet their needs. Excuse me. Josh Garcia, a psychologist for Kaiser in San Diego, said in a press statement from the NUHW. Kaiser is one of the nation's largest nonprofit healthcare providers, is required by law to provide mental health services to its members, even with workers on strike. A spokesperson for Kaiser told CNN that NUHW has been slow-walking negotiations and said the network will continue to negotiate with the union. The strike comes as employment in the mental health field for psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, counselors, psychiatric aides, and social workers is expected to grow 3 times faster than the average U.S. Job position, according to CNN's analysis of data released in September by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move along from there. But so yeah, I'm rooting for them. I really hope that they get theirs, that they get at least some kind of compromise that is like, yeah, we can work with this, we can rock with this. Thank you. So we'll see. I'll try to keep y'all posted on this. Now, let's get to the fucking freaks, dude. Let's get to the fucking monsters, dude. Holy boy. I don't want to say I've been avoiding this shit. It was one of those things where I heard about maybe a year or so ago, just, via my podcast surfing ways, how fucked up Abercrombie and Fitch was as a company. Like, I felt it as a young, fat black kid that like Abercrombie and Fitch, Hollister, which are like I guess sister companies. I didn't know that until I actually started like hearing about the shit. Or I did know about it in high school, but once again, in one ear, not the other. I'm too fat for these clothes, so whatever. But I always felt like, yeah, this shit is not for me. This is for the preppy white kids. Like, I mean, I'm just being straight up honest with you. Like, and I went to a majority white school, so that was a very common like fashion of just Abercrombie pretty much head to almost toe, and then that's when you get urban, putting some quotations up there, and you get like some Air Force Ones or something like that, or it would later become like the Sperry topsider, whatever, you know what I mean? So I mean, it was a look. Like, I'm not really bashing the look or whatever, but it was definitely like it almost became like almost like a caste system, because if you weren't rocking that shit, what were you rocking, right? Like, that was almost like the conversation. But yeah, I would learn, once again, just listening, to what was going on, I guess, in the background, that, was it Mike Jeffries, the CEO of Abercrombie, was a huge piece of shit. And like, completely did not want to change what he thought was the ideal brand. And I'll get to a quote from him probably towards like the end of this shit. But I mean, this dude was a just grim, gross piece of shit. And I didn't even know what he looked like until today. I never looked at him. He's gotten so much work done, and I love it. I love when people do this, because then it's like, oh, your insides match your outsides fucking perfectly. It's giving Laura Loomer. I love that. It's so good. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get in. Let's actually read the material. What size is the waist? Let's go in. Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, has been indicted on 16 federal counts of sex trafficking and international prostitution in New York, and is accused of leveraging a network of employees, contractors, and security professionals while he led the retailer. So I think these were things when I was like, once again, just doing my little download on this, like along the way, I had heard rumblings of rumors, accusations of this kind of shit, but it was more or less focused on the fact that this guy just didn't want fat people of color or whatever in his clothes. And he was really adamant about that. He was like, that's what makes the brand fucking good. And that was more or less enough for me to be like, ew, this guy was gross. I'm glad this shit fucking flopped, and they eventually wound up having to like add a plus size and like really just faded into obscurity. They wound up being no better than Aeropostale or American Eagle, all the brands that he was more or less scoffing at, you know what I mean? But meanwhile, this dude was doing like the worst shit. And I remember hearing stuff about like American Apparel, like the CEO there doing like some really gross shit in like hot tubs and things like that to like the models or whatever, putting them in really bad, compromising positions, situations, whatever. And I was like, ooh, that's really fucking bad. That's gross. And that was just something I was just learning about, like, real time or whatever, like, just via news, via the internet, whatever, before my newsy days, But hearing all this was like, oh, this dude was like, I don't want to say way worse. I don't want to get comparative, but like, was definitely on some like, and I hate to say it, it's just become cliche, but he was on some Diddy shit, like what the fuck. But let's dig further. I'm sorry, I'm in a rant mode. While Jeffries was the CEO of one of the most recognizable clothing retailers in the world, he was using his power, his wealth, and his influence to traffic men for his own sexual pleasure and that of his romantic partner, Matthew Smith. Breon Pace, U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of New York, said in a Tuesday press conference. Smith, 61, of West Palm Beach, Florida, and another associate of Jeffries, James Jacobson, 71, of Rice Lake, Wisconsin, were also indicted as part of the case. Jacobson was employed by Jeffries and Smith to recruit, interview, and hire men to perform commercial sex acts for Jeffries and Smith, according to the indictment. The indictment alleges that between December of 2008 and March of 2015, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson engaged in a sex trafficking scheme in which they would recruit men engaged in sex events at which the alleged victims were given muscle relaxants known as poppers, alcohol, lubricant, Viagra, and condoms to perform sex acts. They were allegedly enticed into the acts with modeling and career opportunities at Abercrombie. So, yeah, this shit was real fucking deep. I actually, when I had saw this story with the charges, it had brought me back to, I want to say a week or two ago, maybe 3, when I was listening to the BBC, and like someone who had went through this shit had, was like telling their story. And essentially, like, they were describing a situation where, like, yeah, we kind of, had a vague idea of what we were getting into, but then once we get into it, we realize, like, oh, wow, we are way, way too deep. And, like, you kind of just can't get out of it. Like, essentially, you're stuck in a situation where if I say no to these people at any given point, I could easily be in a really bad situation. And, like, you could say, oh, that's so vain to be worrying about your career when, like, oh, your life's on the line. But, like, when you're young and you're, like, swept in the situation and you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is do or die. And, like, you don't know anything about the industry potentially. So, like, you're hearing this guy's story and it's like, essentially, you're kind of, like, forced to, like, and maybe I'm getting this wrong because, like I said, this was, like, at least a week or so ago. But, like, he was saying he was like forced to like kind of like cosplay, and then like he was essentially, it just became a complete sexual harassment, sexual assault on him. And he's like, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to get into. If I knew what this was at the onset, I would have never said yes to this. But here I am now, and I'm like, I'm stuck with this trauma. Obviously, I'm extremely paraphrasing this situation. But, like, this happened to a lot of people, and not just in America. Like, they were taking this shit on the road, if I'm not fucking mistaken. Let me see if I can scroll ahead. Here we go. Jeffries and Smith paid dozens of men to travel within the United States and internationally to various locations, including the Hamptons, New York City, and hotels in England, France, Italy, Morocco. Morocco. Sorry, I get possessed by JLo. And St. Bartholomew for the purpose of engaging in sex acts with Jeffries, Smith, and others, according to the indictment. Some of the men were allegedly paid to attend multiple sex events. So, I mean, this is some Epstein shit, dude. Like, it is just some dark, depraved shit with people who have a lot of money, power, and influence, and they essentially get to custom build these sexual nightmares in which they want to put people through. And not to mention, too, it is noted that these are, like, known, like, heterosexual men. And you're putting them in a situation where you are trying to initiate a homosexual act. Like, you are trying to now do this to them. That's what you want. And, like, it really does feel like, from what I've kind of gathered out of this shit, between this, the BBC stuff, is that they almost wanted to, like, bring their models, like, make their models, like, real so they could sexually assault them. Like, that's so gross and depraved. And it's like, what would make you, like, I don't know how you get to this bottom. I really fucking don't, dude. And, like, the fact that he's not alone in this shit. He has, like, an accomplice, his partner, and then, like, other people. So it's like, whoa, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. I already didn't like this guy at the top of the shit when he's just like, yeah, this is meant for a certain kind of people. I guess I want to go ahead and skip to that. I've kind of alluded to it a few times. Let me scroll. Here we go. In 2006, Jeffries went viral for a salon interview when he said, "We go after the attractive all-American kid with a great attitude and a lot of friends. A lot of people don't belong in our clothes, and they can't belong. Are we exclusionary? Absolutely." Like, essentially, he was doing this to, like, kind of be, like, avant-garde and trailblazing. But, like, when you literally have a model that bleeds into your company, like, culture. There you go. The company culture. Like, where, like, a person with a job or a person who, can't even fit your clothes cannot work here. And, like, I remember thinking and hearing about that as, like, a teenager and being like, yeah, man, that's just the way it is. I'd never be able to work there. And let me tell you, I've been in those, like, because I was a mall rat. And I'm going to use this anecdotal story to just get out of here. But I was a mall rat. So, like, and, y'all know I did a lot of long stints in the mall. That's where I cut my fucking teeth as a retail worker. But before that, I was just hanging out, just having the best time. But, like, anytime I was with, like, a group of friends, maybe they'd want to go, like, yeah, let's check out the Hollister. Let's check out the Abercrombie. And I'd be like, okay, all right. And I just remember feeling so uncomfortable in that shit, especially Hollister, because it's so dark, dude. And then, like, Abercrombie and Fitch just definitely felt weird. Like it smelled very strong, very potent, and like it was like, okay, I guess I'll look at these clothes that would never fit me, and like, but this is the thing that really is funny, right? Because like he said that shit, Jeffrey, made that fucking quote. But this is where like American Eagle gets to get the edges, and Aeropostale gets to get the edges. Now I will say, pew pew on American Eagle because when I was doing my shopping as a 20 something, young 20 something, whatever, teenager, you could go into an American Eagle and like maybe they would have like an extra large if you were lucky, right? Maybe. But like they would like I remember talking to the people who worked there like, "Hey, just so you know, we do have a bigger size run online." And I was like, "Oh, that's great." Cuz I hated using the fucking computers as a kid because I didn't grow up with them that much. So I was like, "Whatever." But then I would actually go on and I was like, "Oh my god, I can find a pair of pants that actually fit me from here." And that was a game changer for me at the time. So like Abercrombie lost on money trying to be exclusive for no fucking reason. People are going to buy these clothes because you literally have people with no shirts and surfboards on like selling your shit for models. Unfortunately, you want to fuck people who look like that, and you're putting them in terrible, terrible fucking situations. But like you're printing your own money and then you're trying to cut it off for no reason. Why, dude? This dude was just a bad businessman, and once again, just an overall evil piece of shit. So yeah, fuck him, fuck his Gollum ass, fucking blocky ass face, and let's move on to monster number 2. Let's do that mash. Let's see. From CNN yet again. Rudy, actually, let me take a water break. I need it. Mea culpa. I got no editor, so we're not gonna, we're just gonna ride it out. We're gonna rock it out. You're gonna hear the squeaky little bottle. Oh boy. All right, Arun. Rudy Giuliani must give control of luxury items and Manhattan apartment to Georgia election workers he defamed, judge rules. So let me get a little woohoo, because I'm happy. I love to see this. This is another one I was kind of tracking, kind of stalking a little bit, because he was crying over his like ring, I think, or some Joe DiMaggio memorabilia. It's like, but my family got me this stuff for a little gift, and like I would hate to part with it. And like you're hearing the Giuliani family like, yeah, like it's a gift. It's like, bro, it's a luxury item. He owes people millions of dollars. He needs to fork it over. But let's get into it. A federal judge on Tuesday ordered former Donald Trump attorney and New York mayor, some used to say America's mayor, man, Mr. Rico himself, Mayor Rudy Giuliani, to turn over all of his valuable possessions and his Manhattan penthouse apartment to the control of Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, the Georgia election workers he defamed and whom he now owes $150 million. At one point, he said these 2 black women were moving around USBs like they were vials of cocaine or heroin. I wish nothing but ill will on Giuliani. Fuck this man. This man hates black people. But not to mention, he was so up Trump's ass that he was willing to commit any kind of crime. And it's like, brother, you're a lawyer. You know what you're doing is wrong. And it's like, I'm sorry, I don't care that any and all of Trump's little fucking accomplices have to fucking ride the fucking lightning. Obviously, they're not. They're going to be fine. It's not that bad. Like, look, at the end of the day, I'm not saying fucking put Rudy Giuliani in the goddamn poorhouse. But he owes people money. And he's sitting on fucking real estate that is worth a lot of fucking money. He has a lot of fucking items that when you tally them up, they are worth millions of dollars. I don't think he has 150 million. In fact, no, dare I say, I know he doesn't fucking have it. But guess what? Now, the fact that Trump owes him $2 million, he owes these ladies $2 million. So, hell yeah. Clap it up once again for that. We love to fucking see it. Shout it out for Freeman and Moss. But it's like, dude, it's just crazy that he's trying to plead like, "Pa, I'm so poor, I'm so old. Oh, don't make me give away these New York Yankees ring, please. Oh, Mr. Judge." And it's crazy because at the end of the day, Lehman is still holding out, which is the name of the judge, at least the last name of the judge, Judge Lewis Lehman. He's still holding out on whether or not he's gonna like make him fork over even more stuff. Yeah, Lehman hasn't decided yet if Giuliani will be able to keep a Palm Beach, Florida condominium he also owns, or the 4 New York Yankees World Series rings he has, which Giuliani's sons contends his father gave him. Oh, that's so. Oh, give them back and give them to these ladies because they fucking deserve it. Yeah, in addition to the Trump campaign fees, which was, yeah, the $2 million, and New York apartment, Giuliani must also turn over a collection of several watches. Hello, Mr. Nice Watch, including ones given to him by European presidents after September 11th. I'm sorry. He's got 9/11 watches. Why? To remember the time. What the fuck? What should we give Giuliani? Oh man, I mean he lost 2 towers. What do we give the man who lost 2 towers? I mean, even though he wasn't the fucking mayor, right? Like what the fuck? I don't get this. What in the hell is going on? Let's see. I don't know. Fact check me on that. I can't remember who was the mayor in 2001. I don't know. Let's see. Yes, a signed Joe DiMaggio jersey and other sports memorabilia, and a 1980s Mercedes once owned by the Hollywood star Lauren Bacall. Additionally, the judge ordered that Giuliani turn over his television. They're taking the TV from this motherfucker. Items of furniture and jewelry. So yeah, he's fighting for his motherfucking life, as he fucking should. Um, I'm rooting against him. I'd love to send this man to Tomato Town, and yeah, we're gonna move along. Oh man, I forgot about the fucking watches. I wasn't planning on talking about that, and then I read it. What the fuck, man? Anyway, let me take my last break. Let me do more damage to my fucking throat, and then we'll go ahead and close this out. Actually, a random aside. I was trying to listen to the Daily today, and the episode they had today was like the harms of like legalizing marijuana or some dumb shit. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to be non-biased Barry or whatever. I'm trying to listen to this shit, and I couldn't like even do like 5 minutes of it. I was just like, whatever. I get it. I know it's not perfect. Weeds like has bad things about it. I don't know. I was very annoyed about it, but anywho, here we are hacking up a lung, about to talk about fucking quarter pounders and McDonald's. Ooh wee. I don't know if I told you guys this little fun fact about me. Um, my mom told me that one of the first words I said was McDonald's, essentially. I didn't say it right, but I would say Mackie Don. And I was like, that's so me. I was like, that's so me. And I proceeded to eat McDonald's for like, God, oh my God, almost like 25 plus years on like a weekly basis. I miss that time. I miss that era. I miss my McDonald's fast food era, man. I miss Whoppers. Miss Big Macs. But anyway, not today I don't, because apparently they got some problems going on. More problems for McDonald's. PBS News. Deadly E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounders. E. coli food poisoning linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounder hamburgers has sickened at least 49 people in 10 states, including one person who has died and 10 who were hospitalized, federal health officials said Tuesday. The death was reported in one older person in Colorado, and one child has been hospitalized with severe kidney complications, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported. Infections were reported between September 27th and October 11th in Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Oregon, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Colorado has the most cases with 27, followed by Nebraska with 9. Everyone interviewed in connection with the outbreak had reported eating at McDonald's before falling ill, and most mentioned eating quarter pounder hamburgers, said the CDC said. The U.S. Agriculture Department, the Food and Drug Administration, and state officials are also investigating. So, I mean, they're saying that investigators are more focused on the onions and beef as a potential culprit, as to, what is causing the E. coli outbreak. I guess we're going to do a little quick rundown on E. coli. I feel like we haven't talked about that in a while. E. coli bacteria are harbored in the guts of animals and found in the environment. Infections can cause severe illness, including fever, stomach cramps, and bloody diarrhea. That would take me out. People who develop symptoms of E. coli poisoning should seek health care immediately and tell the provider what they ate. I love that because healthcare in this fucking goddamn country is hard to fucking come by. Hopefully you have insurance. Otherwise, you're going to be handling that bloody diarrhea in your home or on the street. God bless America. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end it for today. Once again, my voice is running ragged, running raw, and I've gone over. But hey, I think this was fun. I like this. I like yapping to y'all. You know what I mean? Some say I shouldn't do this. Some say why put out this fucking schlock? I could do it better. And I say, you know what? I think this is better. I think this is funner. You know what I mean? I think this is more interesting. And you know what? You can engage with me if you like. I appreciate it if you did. Let's see. The best way is you can do it the financial way. I love that. I love a good tip. Pause. No. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. I do shout you out at the top of the month. That's coming up soon. It's gonna be the first of the month soon. I wanted to do the first of the month, but it's not there. I don't have the energy tonight. But yeah, I do shout out and plug a project if you like. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Please subscribe to the YouTube. Hopefully we're getting it back on track. Thank you for any and all the people who are commenting. Love you. Let's see. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Like I said, that's dope if you do. And do that on any of the platforms because you can now. That's an option. That's a mode. Hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.